Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a really necessary look, maybe a bit sobering, at where digital defense is heading. Very near future, actually.
Yeah.
We've gathered quite a stack of sources, big reports, IBM, Microsoft, Palo Alto Networks, analysts, and honestly, they all paint a pretty challenging picture for cybersecurity leading up to 2026.
It's stark, isn't it?
Hmm.
The consensus, really, across everything we looked at, is that the attackers are evolving way, way faster than most organizations can keep up defensively.
Right.
We're moving, fundamentally, from a world where attackers had to, break down the door to one where they often just log in.
And the cost of falling behind here is just, wow. Those IBM numbers we found, they're frankly devastating if you're a business leader.
Mm-hmm.
They show, on average, organizations take a staggering 204 days just to spot a breach. 204 days.
Yeah, just to know it's happened.
And then it takes another 73 days to actually contain it. That's, what, almost 9 months?
Nearly 9 months, yeah, of silent access.
An attacker just operating inside your network. It's incredible.
And that 9-month clock, it often starts with the absolute simplest thing. Microsoft's reports show over 80% of attacks kick off with compromised credentials. Stolen passwords, basically.
80%. So it's not always these super complex 0 days we hear about?
For most orgs, no. It's identity. User identity is the modern battlefield.
Okay. So our mission today, then, is to kind of give you a shortcut through all this, help you get informed on this massive shift.
Right.
We're going to unpack 10 key trends that define this new era. We've grouped them into 4 main shifts to make it easier to digest.
Good plan.
We'll start with the absolute core, the new attack surface, then the tech defense response, then look at how threats themselves are changing, and finally, wrap up with why security is now such a critical business imperative.
Makes sense.
So let's jump right in. The new frontier, identity and the supply chain.
Yeah, and we have to be blunt here. The old idea of perimeter security, the castle and moat model, it's basically obsolete now. Functionally, yeah. The critical pivot, which all the sources hit on, is that identity has replaced the network perimeter. That's the main attack vector now.
Which brings us straight to trend 1, identity first security. If 80% of attacks start with credentials, like you said, why are so many defenses still just focused on, network traffic filtering?
Exactly. Because attackers, they often don't need noisy malware anymore. Why bother if it triggers alerts?
Right.
They steal credentials, they use social engineering, get people to approve MFA prompts, MFA fatigue is real, or use session hijacking, and then they just use a valid identity, move laterally, silently.
So you're not being broken into, you're being hijacked from within.
Precisely.
And what's driving this, it feels like our own progress is biting us back.
It kind of is, isn't it? Massive cloud adoption, remote work everywhere now, that huge sprawl of SOS apps.
Oh yeah, the SOS sprawl.
And, the inevitable human factors, password reuse, people getting tricked by those MFA exploits.
So just having MFA isn't enough anymore?
It's necessary, but not sufficient. The mandatory defense now, strategically, is identity threat detection and response. ITDR.
ITDR, okay.
Yeah. And unlike older systems looking at network blips, ITDR focuses on suspicious behavior after someone logs in successfully.
After login, got it.
It needs to spot things like impossible logins, right? Someone logs in from London and then a minute later from Tokyo. That's a flag.
Okay.
Attempts to escalate privileges using stolen session tokens, and crucially, that silent lateral movement using a valid identity. That's the key to shrinking that 204-day detection window.
Yeah.
You have to see the identity misuse.
Okay, so if the internal identity perimeter is that fragile, that immediately makes you think about, well, who do we trust externally? Our partners, our suppliers. Which brings us to trend 4 in our list, supply chain vulnerability. This is where one hit can cascade into hundreds of breaches.
It's a network effect, but for risk. And honestly, for cyber criminals, it's incredibly efficient. Why hack 100 companies when you can hack one supplier?
Yeah, makes sense.
They target managed service providers, software vendors, data processors, anyone who has privileged access into other companies' environments. Compromise one tool, get access to potentially hundreds of clients.
And we've seen devastating examples, right? The sources mentioned several.
Oh, absolutely. Kaseya in 2021 that hit over 1,500 businesses through just one compromised platform.
1,500, wow.
Then more recently, Moviet in 2023. That impacted, over 2,500 organizations, including government agencies.
Right. And the Okta breach, too, late 2023, they specifically went after downstream clients using access they got from vendor logs. chillin' stuff.
It really is. And the defense here, well, it can't just be contract saying the vendor is secure. You need continuous vendor risk monitoring.
Actively checking them.
Actively scanning their posture, yeah. And, critically, zero trust access policies that apply just as rigorously to your vendors as to your own staff, especially monitoring lateral movement and privilege escalation, where vendor access touches your systems, like in hybrid cloud setups.
You're only as strong as your weakest link, basically.
It's exactly your weakest partner.
Okay, that really sets the stage for our next section, the technological defense response. Because, if threats are getting smarter and multiplying and our teams are already swamped,
Yeah, alert fatigue is a huge problem.
and our systems have to get smarter and faster, too.
It's a two-part challenge, really. We need to match the attacker's speed, for one. And second, we've got to solve that internal mess, the tool chaos most IT teams are drowning in.
Tool chaos. I like that term. Let's start with speed. Trend 2. AI on both sides.
Yeah, no surprise, attackers are jumping on generative AI. The sources talk about way better phishing automation, deepfake voice scams for wire fraud.
Voice scams. Wow.
Oh, yeah. And dynamic malware that constantly changes its signature, making it super hard for traditional tools to catch.
So AI is making the attacks more effective, more evasive.
And more scalable.
Yeah.
What's really concerning is the prediction of autonomous cybercrime services sold on the dark web. Subscription pricing.
Like SOCaaS, but for crime.
Basically, yeah, sophisticated, customizable attacks available to pretty much anyone who pays the monthly fee.
Okay, so if criminals have autonomous AI, how does the defense possibly keep up? You can't just hire analysts fast enough.
You can't. The shift has to be towards agentic AI built into the defense systems. This isn't just basic machine learning. These are like always-on digital analysts with some autonomy.
Digital analysts.
Yeah, they do real-time alert triage, cutting down the noise. They automatically enrich investigations, pulling in context from logs, identity systems, and importantly, they automate most of that routine Tier 1 analysis.
So freeing up the human analysts.
Exactly. It lets the human analysts focus on higher-level stuff, reduces fatigue, and scales the operation without just throwing more people at the problem.
What happens to the human security jobs then? Does AI replace them?
It shifts the role. Humans move from firefighting alerts to AI governance, complex threat hunting, strategic review. They handle the really tricky, novel attacks the AI flags for inspection. It's an evolution, really, driven by necessity.
Okay, that need for scale and efficiency ties right into the tool chaos you mentioned. Trend 3. Open XDR eliminating sprawl.
Right. Most places are juggling separate tools, right? Endpoint security here, network firewall there, cloud logs somewhere else, identity systems.
Silos everywhere.
Exactly. They don't talk to each other well. They generate tons of duplicate alerts, waste time, and create blind spots where threats can hide.
So how does Open XDR fix that? Isn't it just another name for SIEM?
Good question.
Yeah.
It's different. SIEMs mostly just collect and store logs. XDR, extended detection and response, aims for unified visibility across endpoint, network, cloud, and identity.
Yeah.
And crucially, it actively correlates threats across those domains in real time.
So correlation and visibility.
And response.
Yeah.
It moves beyond just logging to actually enabling coordinated response actions.
But getting different vendors' tools to play nicely together, that sounds hard. Is it realistic?
That's where the open part is critical. Real Open XDR has to integrate with what you already have, your Microsoft 365, your Sentinel, your CrowdStrike, whatever, not demand a full rip and replace.
Ah, okay. So leverage existing investments.
Right. The goal is fewer duplicate alerts, faster investigations, all managed from one console. A single source of truth for the security team.
That efficiency sounds vital, especially with how the attackers are changing tactics. Let's move to Section 3, evolving threats. Two big shifts here in how criminals operate.
Yeah, they figured out that, detonating ransomware is noisy,
Right.
risky,
Loud.
loud, exactly. Stealth and theft, much more profitable, often less hassle.
Which is trend 9, ransomware is shifting to extortion without encryption, so they're not locking files anymore?
Increasingly, no. Or not just locking files. They focus on quietly stealing massive amounts of sensitive data first. Then they demand a silence payment. Pay us, or we leak everything publicly.
Wow. That completely bypasses the standard, just restore from backup defense, doesn't it?
Totally. Palo Alto Networks reported, I think it was a 49% increase in leak site activity, even when no encryption was used. So, yeah, your backups won't stop the data breach, the regulatory fines, the reputation hit.
So the defense has to shift dramatically, not just preventing the final boom, but what?
Detecting much earlier. Detecting the lateral movement before they get to the sensitive data. It means strong zero trust identity controls to block exfiltration. And you need proactive dark web monitoring, or are they advertising your data?
Defending against silent theft, not noisy destruction. Got it.
Exactly.
And often, this data they're stealing, it's sitting in places we don't even fully manage. Trend 8, fragmented sauce security, the shadow sauce problem.
Oh, this is a huge blind spot because IT often doesn't even know these apps are in use. Productive research found the average mid-sized company uses over 130 different sauce apps.
130.
Yeah. Many bought by departments directly, no central IT oversight. Shadow sauce.
And that creates chaos, right?
That
Misconfigured permissions, data leaking out through shared links.
Absolutely. Attackers know this. They target OAuth tokens, stolen API keys, those public share links, looking for easy ways to grab data or get persistent access.
So how do you defend against apps you might not even know about?
You need to bring sauce security visibility into your main security monitoring. Tools that discover these apps, analyze their configurations and behavior, and blend those signals with your identity and network data. If your security stack ignores those 130 apps, you've got a massive hole.
Okay. Threats, tech defenses. Let's tie it all together on our final section. Cybersecurity as a business imperative. This isn't just an IT cost center anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's rapidly becoming critical for client retention, for revenue, even for basic business survival.
And that shift really comes through in Trend 5. Clients are buying outcomes, not alerts.
This is so important. If you're an MSP, say, and you just detect something bad and fire off an alert ticket to your client saying, here, you deal with this, you're going to lose that client.
Right, that damages trust.
Hugely.
Yeah.
The standard for 2026 is true managed response.
Yeah.
That means your provider needs to actually do something.
Like what specifically?
Like 24/7 execution, fast containment, maybe automated host isolation, guiding the client through fixing it, and providing a proper root cause analysis afterward. It's about doing, not just notifying.
Execution, not escalation.
Exactly. And this push is being heavily reinforced by Trends 6 and 10, the compliance and insurance nexus.
Cyber insurance. That's changing fast, too.
Massively. Insurers aren't just collecting premiums anymore. They're acting like serious risk underwriters. They are now routinely rejecting applicants who can't show solid proof of continuous monitoring and controls.
So insurance is basically setting the minimum security bar now. What kind of proof do they want?
They want documentation, proof of zero trust adoption, proof you have XDR level monitoring, MFA everywhere, obviously, strong controls on privileged access, and that guaranteed 24/7 response capability we just talked about.
No proof, no coverage.
Pretty much. Which means continuous compliance reporting isn't just for auditors anymore. You need it to win contracts because your clients need proof you're reducing their risk.
It's all connected, which leads right into the final trend, Trend 7. Cybersecurity as a revenue engine.
Well, yeah. Gartner expects global cyber spending to hit something like $300 billion by 2026. It's a massive market.
$300 billion.
And the smart play isn't just selling point products. It's strategic. Selling tiered security as a service packages.
Bundling things together.
Right. Bundling Open XDR visibility, ITDR for identity protection, that 247 managed response, automated compliance reports, give the client the outcome they need, which is mandated by insurers and their own customers, and build a repeatable high-margin business doing it.
Okay, that's a really comprehensive picture of the road to 2026. So to wrap it up for you listening, the organizations that thrive will be the ones embracing things like agentic AI, consolidating visibility with Open XDR, automating response, proving compliance continuously, and selling security outcomes.
It's a fundamental redesign, really.
Yeah.
And thinking about that shift
Yeah.
from loud malware to silent data theft and how insurers now demand constant proof of monitoring. It brings up one final, maybe overlooked point. What operational asset, given all that, is now the single most critical thing to protect? The most important target for risk mitigation?
We talked identity, SaaS apps, the data itself.
Even more fundamental.
Yeah.
It's the process of gathering that continuous risk evidence itself.
The process. How so?
Because without a solid, automated way to generate that proof, the compliance reports, the monitoring data showing your security posture, you lose two critical things at once.
Which are?
Your ability to win those big contracts that now demand proof of security, and maybe even more importantly, your ability to get the cyber insurance you absolutely need to survive when, inevitably, something does go wrong.
Wow. So you're not just defending data anymore, you're defending your ability to prove you're secure.
Exactly. That evidence generation process is now a core business asset.
That is a powerful thought to end on. A fantastic deep dive into where cybersecurity is undeniably heading. Thanks for walking us through all that.
My pleasure. It's a complex landscape, but hopefully that helps clarify the key shifts.